GroomPod listeners, clear your calendars for March 12th. The legendary Susy and Tent sale is back in Tucker, Georgia, and it's bigger than ever.
We're talking free door prizes for everyone. Massive raffles from you to me and Groomer's Mall. And a chance to win a canine dryer from Electric Cleaner Co. Learn from the best with live demos by award-winning masters Nathan and Katie Austin. Plus enjoy free shipping on all Susy and brand orders placed at the event.
Coffee and lunch are on the house, but you must RSVP for a ticket. Head to SusyandGrooming.com right now to register for free.
See you at the tent.
Hello, groomers. You found the GroomPod. Welcome to our virtual salon. My name is Susie, and I'm your host. I'm a mobile groomer from Seattle, Washington, and anybody who knows me will tell you I love to talk, especially about my job. And one of my favorite people to talk to is my friend and mentor and the co-star of this show, the curator of ingredients, Miss Barbara Bird.
Hey, Susie, so glad to be with you again. It seems like it's been months.
It has seemed like it's been months, but you know, happy Super Bowl day. The Seahawks are in the Super Bowl. I'm wearing my lucky shirt. I hope it's my lucky shirt. Yeah.
I'm all ready to watch Bad Bunny. I found out that I can watch the Super Bowl on Peacock.
Yes.
I'm already on Peacock watching the Olympics, so that's perfect. I know I've got a subscription. And I'm just all excited about this game. I'm hoping that Seattle takes care of business this time.
Oh, it's the entire city is going nuts. We'll have fireworks in the neighborhood. Everybody around here is having parties, except us. I'll just be watching on my phone while I'm working in the barn, but it's all good. It's very exciting. And welcome to episode 471 of the GroomPod. It is February 8th, and we are having an exciting show today. We're going to talk about the January Groomer to Groomer episode because we're behind, and Barbara has a science bomb she's going to drop on us, which is pretty exciting. So all of this excitement is made possible by our sponsors, Best Shot, Show Season, Precision Sharp, Groomer, and Stasco. And if you guys want to be a supporter too, you can do so at our website where you'll find the donation button, or you can join us on Patreon. But whatever you do, be sure to tell your friends to listen to the show. What's new this week is brought to you by Groomer Software.
Is your mobile grooming business running you ragged? Stop zigzagging across town and start scheduling smarter with Groomer. Our smart route scheduling and automated wait list. Keep your van moving and your table full, from intake forms to QuickBooks syncing. Groomer handles the boring stuff so you can focus on the fur. Join thousands of groomers who've leveled up. Visit groomer.com to start for free. No credit card required.
Okay, guys, obviously, Barbara just noticed I'm having way too much fun making these songs for our sponsors. So as a result, the sponsor ads are a little bit longer, but I'm just having the best time. So I'm going to keep putting the songs together. It's so much fun. So, Barbara, I've got exciting search news. Exciting search news. So
Search news.
Yes,
All right.
Yes. It appears that AI is developing constantly, as we know. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. But they are now beginning to be able to search some of our old episodes, because I did a search and it's now starting to pull out audio and listen to audio and analyze that. So you can go back to attempting to search for things on Google a little bit. I mean, it's not perfect, but I was able to do a couple searches. But I also found that if you go to the GroomPod discussion group, I posted almost every single episode on the GroomPod when they come out. That entire catalog is searchable. on that website. So if you go to the groompod.com discussion group, facebook.com/group/the groompod, and you search in the search box for that group exclusively, all kinds of stuff pops up that doesn't pop up on Google. So just a little bit of a tip. I'm pretty happy that I found those two ways, even though I'm just going to continue to do it the way that AI finds us the easiest, which is by downloading a transcript. So if you ever wanted to just read the show instead of listen to it, you can do so at the blog spot on our website. So it's up under the menu. So go to thegroompod.com, pull the menu down and look for the blog. And you can find every episode transcript for the last 4 months on there. So that's cool. Now, we have definitely been on hiatus because I had a vacation and Barbara got a new body part. So how's that going, Barbara?
Yeah, I got a new knee. I think it's been like 10 or so years ago. I got my right knee replaced, and lately I just like been crippled by my left knee. And so, with the help of the people around me, I made the jump and got the left knee replaced. And boy, it was a good surgery. I mean, if there is such a thing as a good surgery, this was it. They had a group meeting called, joint camp a week before your surgery, and you go and you learn all about what's going to happen and how you have to clean the wound. Oh yeah, they made me use a ton of chlorhexidine and dial soap, which I hate. And anyway, I was supposed to do it about 4 or 5 times, and I did it once, but I did it the morning of the surgery. I'm just a little less fearful of bugs than most people. Me and you, that's something that we have in common, is that I really don't think we need to be quite as afraid and meticulous about it. I don't want to remove all the bacteria from the planet. Excuse me. I don't want to remove it all from my shop. I just don't want to have a surplus. And that's how it is.
I think it's so important to let our immune system fight off some of this stuff and get stronger and figure out what it is. I think it's a big mistake to take over the job of your immune system. And I think that's why we have peanut allergies and seafood allergies and all this kind of stuff. I don't know, but I know that my immune system is strong and powerful, although anybody who watches my personal Facebook page knows that I was at Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm and California Adventure this last week. And there was somebody running around with the measles. I'm vaccinated for that, so I wasn't too worried about that. But they were all over Disneyland in the same spots that we were. But I always seem to come home with a crappy, snotty nose from the airplane. So I did have a snotty nose last week, and Barbara wasn't feeling 100%. So we started out to record, but it just didn't really happen. And then
didn't work.
Then the day after, I lost my voice, so there was no going back from that. But obviously, I'm sounding good and strong now. Still have a little bit of a cough occasionally, but for the most part, I'm all healed up thanks to my mighty immune system. So I feel good about that.
Yeah, I'm doing real well too, and it's largely because I engaged in a 3-week physical therapy before the surgery. So I got both my knees all tuned up and ready to go. And it made a big difference in my recovery. In fact, last Friday, when I was at PT, both therapists, I have a team, both therapists told me that I was at the top of all patients for speed of recovery.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and my incision looks good. My skin is healthy and strong, and it's just cool. I'm just way ahead of my age group, and that is where I want to be, because when I feel my age, it sucks.
So anybody who's going to go to Groomed, the plan is that Barbara is going to go to Groomed.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make it. And I'm going to have a scooter that's kind of a backup and, like just to stretch out my endurance on the floor. I'm going to have a scooter so that I can like really zip around. So I'm real excited. Look for the pink hair. And by all means, come up and say hi to me. If you see me, just shout at me and I'll wave back or come over and just talk. I like that.
A personal tip is that Barbara's really fun to hang out with. And if you just follow that scooter around, you will have a fantastic time at grooming. I can promise you that. She might even get up and do a celebration dance. You never know.
Oh, you never know.
Pretty cool.
One of my main goals for having my knee done was so that I can dance again. That's kind of a little more than you need to know personal information, but not being able to dance was very depressing to me because dancing has always been a physical expression of self. It's always who I've been, and it's not that I have the greatest moves, it's just that I have the greatest motivation to move to the music.
Absolutely.
I'm just like so excited. I'm excited about the Super Bowl tonight because I might even be able to dance to Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
I'm excited about tonight because it might be I'm going to be all by myself, my little dogs, and we'll just, I've got the floor, I've got the rug taken up so that I would have clear little area that I can move around in if I want to.
Good. I like it. That sounds perfect. Well, adventures in mobile grooming. Barbara didn't make a face. She must not be anticipating. Okay, Barbara, I'm glad you're sitting down.
Okay.
I had a blowout yesterday.
Oh, a tire blowout?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
You know what? I've had so many of them, I'm no longer afraid of trailer tire blowouts. They make the rims so crappy now that if you hit a pothole, it just wrecks your rim and then your tire blows. I mean, basically that's what happened. But I had a limited lifespan left on this tire anyway, on my tires. I probably had another 4 months, 5 months, and I would have had to replace that tire anyway. But I was driving down alongside Lake Stevens, and I must have hit a pothole that I didn't see. And I'm continued on like I always look back there, and I didn't see anything unusual. Well, by the time I pulled up into the house driveway and blocked their driveway, the rest of my tire leaked all the air out. So there I was at the house for my first groom, 2 Australian Shepherds, one of them, which is the size of a freaking elephant. He did not start out this big. I don't know how the poor mom delivered this dog. It's just huge. He's probably 3.5 or 4 now. And I bet he weighs 110 pounds and he's height weight proportionate.
For heaven's sake.
I don't know what happened. He must have the giant gene. It's very weird. But anyway, I was there. I wanted to get the dogs done. So I did the dogs on my flat tire in the driveway, blocking them out of their parking spot. But that was fine. And as I was grooming, I started to plan on how I was going to deal with this tire. And it was just dumping buckets of rain. But it was kind of warm. And I thought, I'm only 64. I should change this tire myself. So I called my husband and I said, I've got a blowout. I'm going to handle it. And I know, and you guys, if you don't know this, I turn incredibly sexy when I fix my own problems. Doesn't matter how old I am. I become darn hot. So I finished the dog. I borrowed a jack. Her father-in-law, her stepdad came over and brought a jack and a couple tools for me so that I could do it. And I pulled that tire off, rolled it up, put it in the back of my truck, disconnected my trailer, drove to Les Schwab, had a hamburger for lunch. They put a new tire on a new rim for me. I grabbed it. I went back, and I started to my trailer jacked up so that I could change the tire. I kid you not, 20 cars went by me. Not one human being rolled their window down and said, "Do you need help? Are you okay?" Nobody. I did not need help. I didn't look like I needed help, but I had to move out of the road every time a car went past. You would think one human being, one single person would have asked if I was okay. So, friends, listeners, please take a moment to care about your fellow humans. I was perfectly capable of changing that tire. That's why I did it. But if I drove by a person in their 60s who was bent over pulling a tire off or putting one back on, a trailer's much easier than the truck, I still would have asked if they were okay or needed help. I was so surprised. And I was in a neighborhood where people live. I wasn't like in the middle of downtown or anything. I don't get it. I don't get why nobody stopped to ask. But I do want to also mention, if you're pulling a trailer, please make sure you know how to change a tire on your own without help. As a matter of fact, the Gen Zer whose house I was at had never changed a tire. So I pulled her out of her house and I said, come here, I'm going to tell you how to change a tire. And she watched me and learned how to change the tire yesterday. But these are things that if you have a car, you should probably really be able to know the basics of how to pull a tire and how to put another one on. But, oh, I'm so powerful. I'm such a badass. I can't believe I did it at 64 years old. I pulled that tire, I got it replaced, and I put it back on, and I'm very proud of myself.
Let me tell you a little story about another person who had a flat tire. This was the Hanvey family and I, which I am now one of. Hanvey family went out on our like monthly go out night, and there was this guy singing on stage, and he was in his 50s, I would say, and he played guitar. And he sang with a very heavy Southern accent. It was a little bit annoying. It was so heavy. But anyway, it's not my genre, but he had a very sparkling personality, and he was very engaging. And he was kind of all stressed out when he came into the club because he was late for the gig. And he told a story about the night before. He had been driving out in the country where there was nobody. And he had a blowout, and he went to change his tire, and he couldn't move the nuts. It had been so long this vehicle had been maintained, and he said it was just one of the most devastating moments that he ever had. And I thought, well, what a great guy to share his shame publicly like that. I automatically kind of liked him. In fact, I got some bills out of my wallet and I sent them up to his jar. You know, I said, take these up to that guy, and we waved. And I just felt like so bad for a man to not be able to change his tire. And then we hear the story about how Susy at 60-something already can just no deal fix her tire, and yours too.
Now I'm proud.
I want to travel with you, girl.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I want to travel with you.
Oh, yeah. I'm perfectly capable of handling whatever this world sends at me. I'll just deal with it, you know? I did come home feeling pretty good. I'm not even sore. I thought I might have tweaked my shoulder, but it's fine this morning. So I did it, and I feel accomplished. I actually feel like I got a high from taking care of my own business. And it was nice. Not to mention that whole sexy to the husband thing. That's pretty good, too. I won't argue with that. That's all right. Yeah. I know you guys have been waiting on bated breath for us to discuss this issue of Groomer to Groomer. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Let me tell you about Best Shot's newest addition to the Ultramax Pro line. Ultramax Hair Hold is a flexible hairspray that can be layered on for a stronger hold. Ultramax Hair Hold spray is great, but my favorite new product is called the Max, and I won't groom without it. It's a fragrance-free ultra-concentrate conditioner and detangler. It reduces drying time and handles undercoat and tangles like magic. Just a few drops in the final rinse or spray it on and dry it in. Contact your favorite Best Shot distributor or learn more online at bestshotpet.com. Grooming success begins with Best Shot in your tub. Made from the best stuff on earth. Ready, groomers? Here comes our first appointment. So it's been a few weeks since I looked at this issue of Groomer to Groomer, but I did make some good notes. And first I want to mention that, I don't know if you saw it, but did you see all the included references at the bottom of the articles now?
Yes. Yeah, I started something, didn't I?
You did. I'm wondering who heard it.
I'm so happy to see actual references, but beware because I might check up and see if they match with what they're claiming to support, because I'm a stickler about that. Well, I'm a bitch, let's face it.
Barbara. You're not so bad. You just like things to be as they should be.
I'm a science bitch. I own it. I own it.
I agree. You do own it.
But I'm a good witch.
Oh, for sure. I don't think there's any question in that. Oh, also, I want to mention that we won't be talking about Dave's stuff because we talked about Dave's stuff for a whole episode of the GroomPod. So if you want to know about Dave's articles, just listen back a couple episodes and you'll hear that. So Dr. Cliff, who always gets an upfront feature.
Yeah, doesn't he? He always gets the first or second article.
Yes. And after listening to Dave, I didn't realize that they actually get a topic theme to write to. And that's kind of how they weave everything together a little bit. So this time it was Old Dog's New Tricks for Dr. Cliff. And I actually liked the idea of this article pretty much. I especially liked how he mentioned that it's important to like renew your information and all that, which is, of course, what the GroomPod's all about. What he did is he mentioned that you should especially look at how your mentors continue to learn. And my mentor is on this podcast, and she's constantly changing her opinion and learning and growing. And I think that's so very important. And if your mentors, your personal choice mentors, are not doing that, seek out some new ones. Get out there and listen to the new people talking. You may not agree with everything they say, and you may not agree with everything anyone says, but there's always something to learn from every single person. Barbara's shaking over there like they're having an earthquake.
I know, I just bumped into the wall.
So I thought that was an important point, that you should definitely review your own mentors, see if they're learning and changing.
I like that he kind of pointed out the fact that some of our well-known speakers and influencers, educators are not on the cutting edge of what is known in it scientifically or not known. And the real science-minded person maintains a skeptical aura. You know, like when you listen, you listen and you seek it, but be ready to question it. And if your mentors can't answer or just get defensive, as some people do, you might want to search out someone else. And furthermore, the more voices you hear saying something, the more of the something you're likely to actually digest and make your own. That sometimes educators say you need to repeat yourself 3 times. That people need to hear something 3 times before they learn it. Well, sometimes it's even more depending on the context of those 3 things. You may hear something from somebody else that suddenly lights the light bulb, you know, and say, oh, I get it.
Absolutely.
Because someone kind of led you in there in a different way.
Today, changes are happening rapidly. The evolution of AI and just development in our own industry's products and techniques make it very important to get out there. Now, the beautiful thing about today is you can actually use things like YouTube and social media to keep in touch with things that are changing, things that are new. Also, 1,000 different voices. Like Barbara says, not all of them are 100% right. There's always something to get out of every single thing you watch, whether it's how to be, how not to be, how you want to model your business, what things you'd like to learn. I think it's such a amazing time we're living in that we have that stuff right at our fingertips. So good on you, Dr. Cliff. I think that's the first article I really enjoyed reading from him. So then the pictures from Fun in the Sun. I think Lindsay's Bichon is a ham. I think that dog knows how to pose. I think it loves being in the pictures, and every doggone picture of that dog is spectacular. I know her grooming is great, but I see that dog's personality every time I look at a picture from that dog. Don't you love it?
I do, and I so miss owning a Bichon because it's a great little breed. It's just very, very willing, and they don't bark as much as Maltese.
Yeah.
I got the barking ones.
So once again, the picture section is just spectacular. I learn a ton from looking at those dogs, one after another, the beautiful grooms on them, and the smiling faces behind the dogs. It just brings me great pride to look at that stuff. I liked to look at the fun styles in the salon freestyle class. They have some asymmetrical designs in this one, and I thought they were pretty cool. So I looked at that. It's also good to see the beginners out there in their first competitions. I am less and less enjoying creative.
Yeah, me too.
It's so beyond anything that's pleasant to look at anymore. It's like a storyboard that you put up when you're going to work on something. It's got all these bits and pieces, sometimes cohesive, sometimes not so cohesive, but very busy. I like to see more classical type grooming involved in that, not so much sculpting. The sculpting is great, fantastic. Bring them in, have them sculpt up dogs and feature them. But let's make creative more about grooming and not as much about color and design.
More artistic, more creative.
That's what I mean.
I always enjoyed turning the dog into a camel kind of creative. I agree with you. They're getting too busy and repetitive. And even though if you look closely at the detailing, it's not the same, but it is in the same genre, the same bag. Come on, I'm tired of looking at faces on dogs.
Yes, I think you're right. I think that the idea of turning a dog into another item is more fun to look at and to interact with and to have a show where you're doing a little skit with something that you've turned into something else rather than a comic strip type design, which one side has 3 characters on it. You flip the dog over, there's 3 other characters on it. It's a cohesive theme, but it's not as fun as turning your miniature dog into a panda bear that looks like a panda bear and no longer looks like a dog. I like that, and I miss that.
Do you remember the bumblebee dog at Atlanta Pet Fair?
The one that made us both cry?
Oh, it made us both cry. I wept. That was so dang cute. And we met the dog in the elevator a couple of days before the competition. So there had been some bleaching going on. So we knew kind of what was going. And when the last step in their creative creation was to put the wings on the dog, and this was like a miniature poodle, small miniature poodle, toy miniature, and they put the wings on the bumblebee, and Susie and I just lost it. We just wept. It's so beautiful.
I wouldn't have been surprised if that Bumblebee took flight. It looked so fantastic.
Al, it looked so fantastic. It was so darn cute. It was so well done, and it was a bumblebee.
Another one of my favorite ones was Sandy Blackburn with the Clydesdales and the wagon and the kids. That's fun, creative. There was interaction. It definitely turned the dogs into something unrecognizable as dogs. I love that, and I miss that. I want more.
Yeah, and then there was the three-legged dog that she turned into the wounded warrior veteran with a uniform and all of that. Oh my God.
Fantastic. That was very moving. And then we have to pay homage to our friend Dawn Omboy and her dragon. Her dragon
Yeah,
was
yeah.
spectacular. But not only the dragon, the set, the castle, her outfit, the whole thing was just a production. I like a production. I miss that they aren't doing the productions anymore.
I like a production too. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the Gen Z article. When you were grooming, did you do a lot of Gen Z pets?
Well, I don't know, but I have a problem with characterizing humans into groups based on age, sex, sexual interest, religion, diet. Come on, why don't you interview clients who are vegan? It's like that, right?
Right, exactly. Yep.
Marketing to vegan, but marketing to vegan pet owners. Well, yeah, they're all pet owners. Let's find the commonality, not the differences. And I think that staying in tune with the times is going to help you take care of whatever kinds of customers come in. But I just don't like to stereotype groups of people like millennials. I know people who refer to millennials like there's this rotten batch of humans that exist among us.
I would agree completely because we're all so different. But I will say, the people who grow up in the generational group sometimes have different learning styles. And in this case, computers change the way people learn. So I think, and you tell me if you think this is true, I think that we are attracted to doing business with people of your own generation. So I don't have a lot of Gen Z. Most of the Gen Z that I do, I'm related to. It's my nieces and my nephews and children of clients that I've had for years and things like that. But I am more comfortable going to a dentist or a doctor that is closer to my age group. Now that's all changing because they've all aged out and retired. Get ready for that, guys. When you get older, all of a sudden you lose your dentist, you lose your doctor because they age out because they were just slightly older than you. So now I'm going for slightly younger than me. And I've got some good service providers, but I mostly deal with, because I'm mobile, older people or people who are raising their kids. Those are kind of the groups that I end up with. And so I just don't have a ton of experience with the younger generations. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I see what you mean, and I think it's a good article. I mean, it's not bad to do that. You have to watch yourself that you don't make assumptions about people based on their age group or what generation they are, because they could be a one-off.
Yes, like you or I. Definitely.
Like you or I, right? So if you want to give room for yourself to be in there, you might not stereotype. Just catch yourself. For me, maturing and developing and aging gracefully is all about not making assumptions about people. It's all about taking people as they are.
Now that I'm getting to a certain age and I have no children, yes, a woman of a certain age, I have no kids. So I am encouraged to, by my own volition, find younger friends. Like I have a bunch of younger friends that are going to be there and still active when I become old, because I'm not there yet. But when I do, and I can't change my own tire and I need some backup for things, I've got a bunch of younger generational friends, not so much clients, but I do try to cultivate that. So as you're aging, here's a little tip. Make some younger friends and keep them forever because they're great. All right. Now, the article I am most excited about in this whole issue is Pause and Profits for the 2025 Tax Guide by Jason Friedman, the CPA. Finally, an actual business article. I know it's not what everybody wants to read.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I didn't read it.
I knew it. I knew it.
Hey, see how I am? See how I didn't, well, forget this. Didn't even read it because I don't want to go there.
Right. Well, I'm constantly seeing people asking when they're starting their businesses and they're on these grooming help groups, you know, what do I need to count? How do I do my taxes? And this is just a very basic guide in what you need to keep track of. I thought Jason did a great job. I was thrilled. I was happy. I know it's not fun reading and it certainly isn't great pictures, but it's really helpful.
No, that's important. That kind of keeps the whole issue from being a nothing burger. And of course, I like Dave Campanella's defense of silicones.
Of course.
Even though I think he's in something of denial yet about the skin microbiome, but he'll come along.
Yep.
You know, that skin microbiome, that's a little bit challenging to traditional shampoo manufacturers. It's challenging to market against that, and that's what he's doing. He's trying to market against the microbiome like it's just an advertising trend. But it's really some serious business that's emerging more and more as more and more important as they begin to investigate and learn about just what the microbiome does. I'm doing a whole new study of my own into all of that. I mean, I am just like so into keeping my information fresh.
Speaking of that, if you listen to episode 470, you'll learn all about Zymox, in which is very conscious of the skin biome and what's going on and really does honor that. Shampoo company does honor that. So yeah, Zymox. How's the Zymox thing going with the dogs?
It's going good. It's working. It's helping. It's helping all of us. So I think, in case you didn't hear my summing it up, in my opinion, Zymox is the medicated shampoo to have, period. You can start there. Here again, the more holistic, the more kinder, gentler way to approach the grooming is not to nuke every dog because it has a skin issue. I'm just gonna like kill all the shit on the dog and get rid of all the bugs. Well, then there's not a balance anymore and you're killing the good guys. It's a little bit hard to get in the notion of the beneficial bacteria, but there are bacteria that are beneficial and they form an important part of the skin barrier system. And the more that we recognize that and we stop just like nuking the biome in order to kill some stray, you may end up there. I'm not saying it's never going to happen, but you don't need to start out there. So the idea of doing a chlorhexidine shampoo on every dog just in case it has a skin problem,
I've got the Best Shot MED, but I haven't used it in so long it's probably getting out of date. Because I also like the kinder, gentler method to treating things. And I also wait until the vet hands me something through the owner to use before I start doing any diagnostics myself and deciding that I know better. I just want a clean dog with a healthy biome and let the medical people deal with the medical things. That's kind of the way I'm working it. So then there was an article about owner education. And, we've kind of talked about that a little bit over the past few months. So I think you know how we feel about that. In my case, my clients hire me to do the maintenance. I'm a low maintenance kind of groomer. So I don't really have to deal a lot with having discussions about them maintaining the coats at home. I don't think they do a great job anyway, and I certainly don't want to rely on them. I would much prefer to rely on me, just like changing that tire. So I will do a haircut that I can manage and that I can keep them managed at home during the in-between. Jennifer Bishop Jenkins wrote The History of Groomer to Groomer. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, there was really an homage to Sally and Gwen. And I thought that was very nice of her.
Apropos.
And we need to be reminded of our forebearers, the people who started it all.
Yep.
Because without those women, we wouldn't even have a Groomer to Groomer magazine. We'd have no journal.
And we'd probably only have a couple trade shows, if any at all. So I am very appreciative of Sally and Gwen. I loved hanging out with them. It was fun to watch them work in the shows. I do miss them, not seeing them on the floor. And then there was the Westie groom.
Oh, yeah. I have to say, I didn't like it. I usually am very accepting of the pet modified grooms that they do in Groomer to Groomer, and I think that's a good thing to do. But this Westie grooming, I just thought it was a little bit away from the breed profile. It's a skirted breed. You don't need to have more than an inch of skirt. You can have a teeny little fringe, but you want to have that movement when the dog moves. I just wouldn't call it a Westie trim if I didn't have certain features in there, including the idea of a skirt.
Also, the owner had requested no tipped ears. I'm not
Yeah,
sure why you would request that since it's not a huge thing, but boy, it makes the head look like a Westie.
Yeah, well, you know why? Because otherwise, you're trying to round that head all the way up to the top of the ears, and you're getting a real egghead. But if you tip the ears, and how much you take off the ears really should depend on how much ear they have, so that you can make a circle out of the hair standing on top of the head and the whole rest of the frame of the face. A circle, not an egg.
What you're talking about as the reflection of the actual breed cut, it's like when people do a Cocker Spaniel and take off the little crown on the front. The little poof that's up there, there should always be something up there, I think, a little bit of texture. And they just go whack and it's gone.
And sometimes it's the owner. I had an owner, was a man, had a really beautiful little black cocker, and she could groom out real nice, and I would do a nice head on her, and he thought she looked like a rooster. Because their eyes just don't see it the way that your eyes are. You just gotta get rid of that rooster shit, Barb. Okay, I got it.
And I honor my owners. I honor what they ask for. Like I have that most spectacular, beautiful Bichon puppy, Jojo, that my people just got, the buddy replacement dog. They want me to take the feet short.
The feet short?
Because the backyard is mud. And she's a tomboy. She is out there rolling with the big dogs, and she just comes in filthy dirty, and we're trying to keep a pretty decent show cut on her. And then she's like, I can't take the feet anymore. Just take the feet short. And I was so disappointed because I'm really trying to work on that my foot to leg connection. And yeah, now there's never whatever. Anyway, I
Yeah.
love her and I love the dog. And so the dog has short feet now. Alas.
Yeah, alas, but it can grow back.
And I work for her. I work for her and I work for the dog. I'm not the one who's living with that dog, so she gets to pick. Even as hard as it is every 3 weeks when I take those feet off. Anyway, enough of this stuff. Barbara has a science bomb. So we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back and we'll hear what it is. I'm super stoked for this one.
From the straight and the curve to the thinned and the chunked. If your shears aren't precise, then your finish is bunked. The bobcat is smooth and the lynx is a beast. Give your tired hands a holiday or a permanent feast. Slide that thumb ring forward, slide it way back. With precision sharp tech, there's nothing you lack. Lightweight design means no more hand pain, just a flawless coat and a whole lot of gain. For the edge and stay sharp and the fit that is true, Precision Sharp has the perfect pair for you. Shop the Lynx and Bobcat at Precision Sharp.com.
Groomers, take your seats. It's time for B-Bird's Classroom.
Boy, you just snatched my job away from me.
It is way too fun, Barbara. I know you wanted to write those ads, but it was so exciting for me to make the songs. But I'm going to mix them in, so you write the ads and I'll mix yours in there.
That's okay. I'm going to come up with some videos.
That's perfect. Work on that. I'll work on this.
And we'll have both.
Here, let me give you a fanfare so that we can announce your science bomb.
Oh, that was my cue?
That was just... Yes, that was your fanfare. That's all right.
Okay, so what is a science bomb? You
Yeah.
might wonder.
Barbara, what is a science bomb?
So a science bomb is, I made it up so I can define it, right? A science bomb is scientifically established information that shakes up what you thought you knew or what you believed in. So we have been told since the get-go that the shampoo for the dog needed to be pH balanced to the dog's skin, right?
Yes, we've heard it 1,000 times.
So here is a finding in a recent study. So I am relearning, I am freshening up all of my knowledge about skin and coat and making sure that I know of any studies, like 2020 or later, recent. I would call any study that's within 5 years can be called a recent study. This is a recent study, 2021, and their conclusion was any skin cleansing product, by virtue of its pH being the same as that of the skin pH, does not guarantee that it will be good for the skin. Isn't that something of a bomb?
That is.
The mildness of a cleanser will be determined by the interaction of its surfactants and other ingredients with the stratum corneum under its formulated pH conditions.
So the whole pH thing is BS?
Not exactly BS.
But less important?
It's less important.
Okay.
Formulators have kind of known this for a long time because I think I've told you that often the final pH has to do more with the formulation and all the ingredients being happy than it does with any goal pH, like the skin of the subjects. So this is just more affirmation of that kind of thinking, only they really did study a bunch of shampoos to determine this. The mildness of a cleanser will be determined by the interaction of its surfactants and other ingredients with the stratum corneum under its formulated pH conditions. And here's what I've always thought. Canine pH is so varied and so individual. It can vary by breed. I mean, a lot of variation. It can vary with location on the body. It can vary with gender. It can vary with geography, where the dog is living. It's just there's a lot of differences one to the other. And it's not a good thing to go chasing after, trying to make each shampoo that you use on a dog match that particular dog's pH range. It can't be done. You'd go crazy. I do think that it would be a good idea as a certified canine esthetician to be able to measure the pH of my individual dogs, just because the other thing that we have learned more and more recently is that pH differs with the condition of the skin barrier. And when it's in bad shape, it's going to be a lot more basic, less acidic. It's going to have a higher pH. And here's another thing. The human being's skin acid mantle, we've heard about the acid mantle.
Yep.
The fact that the human skin is slightly acidic, and that acidicness makes for an unwelcoming environment for many pathogenic microbes. Unwelcome. And dogs don't have an acidic pH. They have either a neutral pH or a slightly basic pH. And so they don't really have an acid mantle, Susie. So you can't really disrupt their acid mantle if they don't have one. Now, can you? And would bringing the skin to a lower acidic pH really be harmful? Maybe.
Would you say then that the pH of a shampoo has more effect on the shampoo cleaning system than it does on the animal skin? So like the formulator has to use the products, and that's what affects the pH of the products more than what they're trying to do on the dog's skin.
Yeah. Formulator rules.
Okay.
Because if you leave the shampoo at a wrong pH point, you might have an ingredient or two in there that's unhappy, that would either not perform well or might cause some mischief.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think in this day and age of really sophisticated ingredients, that the ingredient requirement of pH is a little bit more important than the role of the pH of the skin itself. I'm saying that. I haven't read that.
No, I was actually extracting from your brain power.
So there's another study that I encountered in my reading. This one verifies or substantiates what we have, quote, already known. And it is about Pseudomonas aeruginosa, our favorite enemy. They sampled 117 bottles of grooming products, 97 used from pet grooming salons, and 20 used by private pet owners. And they recorded the following suspected risk factors: bottle size, relative remaining volume in the bottle, content dilution, expiration date, and ingredient list. And of all of those risk factors, along with the fact that almost 12% of the samples had Pseudomonas aeruginosa in them.
Wow.
Significant contamination with Pseudomonas, almost 12%, 11.97%. And diluted products were contaminated significantly more than compared to undiluted products. So whammo on that. We knew that. We knew that probably it happened because the preservative gets diluted and it can't be effective. But yes, diluted products were contaminated significantly more than undiluted products.
This is just another reason to have a bathing beauty because you're not diluting anything. Yeah.
You're not diluting and letting stand anything. And that dilution also makes your solution more mild. You know, I'm grappling at the moment about whether I should start advising groomers to use sulfate-free shampoos. And it's a reason that I'm grappling with it is because our friends from Best Shot and Show Season are manufacturing sodium laureth sulfate shampoos. So I'm going to continue to grapple with this, but certainly this study, this shampoo contamination study, verifies what we've thought all along, that diluted products could be dangerous to use. And this is that they could induce furunculosis, the deep follicular problems that are likely to be hard to cure and may run into even sepsis.
This brings up an interesting thought for me because I'll often have a 16-ounce bottle in my trailer and a full or partial bottle in my garage where it's in the cold and the dark. But now, as I use that shampoo up and get down towards the bottom and I'm introducing more air into the mix with the volume, maybe I ought to be topping off my shampoo bottles instead of letting them go all the way to the bottom and then cleaning them and then refilling them. Maybe I should do what they do in the stupid restaurants where they call it side work and you have to top off the stupid ketchup bottle and the mustard every time at the end of the day for the tables. Well, now I kind of am thinking they're doing that to keep it from being exposed to air within the container because you can't keep changing the container for the volume you're using out of there. So maybe I need to top off my bottles.
Or maybe you need to use it up and clean the bottle.
Well, I do that. I mean, I use it till the end, but it may sit there with a quarter of it full for 3 weeks.
But relative remaining volume did not turn up as a significant factor in this study.
Okay, good enough. That answers that.
Nor did using shampoo after the expiration date. And they tested for a couple of different ingredients like aloe vera. That wasn't more contaminated. It had to do with the water.
Okay.
The Pseudomonas just loves the water. And this was just Pseudomonas. This wasn't staph. This wasn't any of the other nasty things that can be floating around our grooming establishments. But our listeners and Susie would like to know about this. So there you go.
Definitely.
We're going to continue to learn and read and keep our information up to date.
I like it. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for being here and listening to our show. We've run a little bit long, but since we missed a few episodes there in the past, we'll just keep it long. Why not? It's fun anyway. We enjoy talking to each other. We enjoy talking to you guys, even though you don't get to talk back, except for on the discussion group, facebook.com/group/the GroomPod. Remember to tell your friends to listen to the show. Remember to support our sponsors. And, of course, remember to turn back for the next episode. Happy grooming, everyone. See you next time on the GroomPod. Barbara's watching skating. Bye now.
Bye, so long.